Do you wake up every morning feeling like your joints are rusty hinges that haven't been oiled in years? That stiffness and ache that makes even the simplest tasks, like buttoning a shirt or reaching for a cup, feel like a challenge? If you're nodding right now, you're certainly not alone. Millions of seniors struggle with joint pain that limits their mobility and diminishes their quality of life. But what if I told you that relief might be as close as your kitchen? Today, we're going to explore 7 powerful anti-inflammatory foods that could help reduce your joint pain when eaten daily. Inflammation is often the hidden culprit behind those aching joints. While it's a natural response by your body to protect itself, chronic inflammation can become your worst enemy, silently damaging your joints day after day. The good news? Nature has provided us with delicious, nutritious foods that fight inflammation naturally. No prescriptions needed, no complicated medical procedures, just simple, wholesome foods that you can incorporate into your daily meals starting today. Many viewers have shared remarkable stories about how changing their diet helped reduce their reliance on pain medication and increase their ability to enjoy activities they thought were behind them, from gardening to dancing to playing with grandchildren. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you the science behind these 7 superstar foods and practical ways to incorporate them into your daily routine. Before we dive into our 7-star ingredients, let's understand why inflammation matters so much when it comes to joint pain. Inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or invasion. When you cut your finger or catch a cold, acute inflammation rushes in like a team of first responders. It's essential for healing and fighting off threats. However, many seniors experience chronic inflammation, a persistent, low-grade response that can last for months or even years. This type of inflammation doesn't heal. Instead, it slowly damages healthy tissues, particularly in your joints. For seniors, several factors make the situation even more challenging. As we age, our immune systems naturally become less efficient at regulating inflammation, a condition sometimes called inflammaging. What many people don't realize is that what you eat plays a crucial role in either fueling or fighting this inflammatory fire. Certain foods contain compounds that actually promote inflammation in your body. Processed foods, refined sugars, and certain types of fats are among the worst offenders. On the other hand, there are foods rich in antioxidants, essential fatty acids, and other nutrients that actually help your body resolve inflammation naturally. Studies have shown that people who follow anti-D eating patterns like the Mediterranean diet experience less joint pain and better mobility as they age. A study published in the Arthritis Foundation journal found that 24% of people with rheumatoid arthritis reported that their diet affected their symptoms, with certain foods either triggering flares or relieving symptoms. One important thing to understand is that dietary changes don't work overnight. Unlike medication that can provide immediate pain relief, anti-inflammatory foods work gradually, often taking weeks to show their full benefits. But many seniors find that the relief they eventually experience is more sustainable and comes without the side effects often associated with long-term medication use. Our first inflammation-fighting champion is fatty fish, particularly salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout. These cold-water fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are perhaps the most well-studied anti-stimulant nutrients available. Unlike many other fats that can promote inflammation, omega-3s actually help resolve it. The science behind this is fascinating. Omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA, found in fatty fish, help produce compounds called resolvins and protectins. These specialized molecules actively help shut down inflammatory responses that have served their purpose and are no longer needed. For seniors with joint pain, this means potentially less swelling, reduced morning stiffness, and improved mobility. A landmark study published in the journal Arthritis and Rheumatism found that patients who took omega-3 supplements, equivalent to eating fatty fish several times a week, were able to reduce their use of anti-inflammatory medications by over 30%. So how much fish should you eat? Aim for at least 2, 3, 4-ounce servings of fatty fish per week. If you're not currently eating fish regularly, even adding 1 serving weekly can make a difference. Fresh, wild-caught fish is ideal, but canned sardines, salmon, or frozen fish fillets can be excellent options too. A simple way to incorporate more fatty fish into your diet: try a Mediterranean-style baked salmon. Simply place a salmon fillet on a sheet of parchment paper, drizzle with olive oil, add a squeeze of lemon juice, sprinkle with herbs like dill or rosemary, wrap the parchment around it, and bake at 375 DGF for about 15–20 minutes. Another option is sardine toast. Mash canned sardines with a little olive oil, lemon juice, and herbs, then spread on whole grain toast for a quick, inflammation-fighting lunch. Moving on to our second inflammation-fighting superstar, berries. These colourful fruits aren't just delicious, they're packed with compounds that can help quiet the inflammatory processes that contribute to joint pain. Berries of all kinds, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, contain powerful antioxidants called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give berries their vibrant colours, and they help neutralise free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cells, and trigger inflammation throughout the body, including in your joints. What makes these compounds particularly valuable for seniors is that they help combat oxidative stress, which increases naturally with age and contributes to joint deterioration. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that women who ate strawberries regularly had lower levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation in the blood. Blueberries deserve special mention for their impressive research profile. They contain particularly high levels of anthocyanins and other polyphenols that have been shown to directly inhibit inflammatory processes. For joint health specifically, a study in the Journal of Nutrition showed that eating the equivalent of 1 cup of blueberries daily helped reduce symptoms in people with arthritis and slowed the progression of cartilage deterioration. The wonderful thing about berries is how easy they are to incorporate into your daily routine. Fresh berries make a perfect breakfast topping for cereal, oatmeal, or yogurt. When berries aren't in season, frozen berries are an excellent alternative. They're typically picked and frozen at peak ripeness, which preserves their nutritional value. A simple berry smoothie can be a joint-friendly breakfast or snack. Blend a cup of mixed berries with a cup of unsweetened almond milk and a tablespoon of ground flaxseed for a quick, nutritious drink that helps fight inflammation. Aim to include at least 1/2 cup of berries in your diet daily. Our third inflammation-fighting food group is leafy greens. Spinach, kale, collards, arugula, and other leafy greens are nutritional powerhouses that offer multiple pathways to reducing inflammation and supporting joint health. What makes leafy greens so valuable fighting joint inflammation? First, they're rich in a range of antioxidants including vitamins A, C, and K, all of which help neutralize free radicals that can damage joint tissue. Vitamin K deserves special attention here. Research has linked higher vitamin K intake with lower rates of inflammatory markers and reduced risk of osteoarthritis. Leafy greens also contain compounds called glucosinolates, which help deactivate carcinogens and inflammatory triggers in the body. Another key nutrient in leafy greens is folate, a B vitamin that helps reduce homocysteine levels in the blood. High homocysteine has been linked to increased inflammation and greater risk of joint problems. The medical literature strongly supports the benefits of leafy greens for joint health. A study published in Arthritis and Rheumatism found that people who consumed the most cruciferous vegetables, including many leafy greens, had the lowest levels of inflammatory markers in their blood. So how can you incorporate more leafy greens into your daily routine? A large salad made primarily of dark leafy greens can provide a substantial amount of anti-inflammatory compounds in one meal. Not a fan of raw greens? Try them sautéed lightly with garlic and olive oil as a side dish. Smoothies offer another excellent way to incorporate leafy greens, especially for those who don't enjoy the taste or texture of cooked greens. Aim for at least 1 cup of leafy greens daily. More is even better. With their exceptional nutrient profile and versatility, they're truly one of nature's best medicines for joint pain. Our fourth inflammation-fighting superstar is olive oil, particularly extra virgin olive oil. This cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet has been used for thousands of years as both food and medicine, and modern research confirms its powerful anti-inflammatory properties. The magic of olive oil lies in its unique profile of monounsaturated fats and powerful plant compounds. Olive oil is rich in oleic acid, a monounsaturated fatty acid that has been shown to reduce levels of inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein. But what makes extra virgin olive oil especially valuable for joint health is a compound called oleocanthal. The oleocanthal has been found to work similarly to non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs like ibuprofen. It inhibits the same inflammatory enzymes, COX-1 and COX-2, that these medications target. While the effect is more subtle than taking a pill, consuming olive oil regularly provides a gentle, consistent anti-inflammatory effect without the potential side effects of long-term NSAID use. Research specifically examining olive oil's effects on joint pain has shown promising results. A study published in the journal Nutrients found that people with rheumatoid arthritis who consumed more olive oil reported less joint pain and improved physical function. To get the most benefit, choose extra virgin olive oil, EVO, the least processed form that contains the highest levels of beneficial compounds. Look for olive oil in dark glass bottles. Light can degrade the beneficial compounds. With a harvest date on the label, ideally within the past year. How much olive oil should you consume? Aim for about 2-3 tablespoons daily. This might sound like a lot, but it's easily accomplished when you use olive oil as your primary cooking fat and in salad dressings. One delicious way to incorporate olive oil is to make your own simple salad dressing by whisking together 2 parts extra virgin olive oil with 1 part lemon juice or vinegar, adding herbs, a small amount of Dijon mustard, and a pinch of salt and pepper. Olive oil is excellent for light sautéing and roasting vegetables at moderate temperatures. Drizzling a tablespoon of raw olive oil over cooked dishes just before serving is another great way to preserve its beneficial compounds and add a burst of flavor. Moving on to our 5th inflammation-fighting food, nuts. Walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and other nuts are not only satisfying snacks, but powerful tools in the fight against joint inflammation. What makes nuts so special for joint health? They contain a unique combination of healthy fats, antioxidants, and fiber that work together to reduce inflammation throughout the body. Walnuts deserve special mention for their high alpha-linolenic acid, AAA, content, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that helps regulate inflammation. They also contain significant amounts of melatonin and polyphenols, compounds that help protect cells from oxidative damage and inflammation. Almonds are rich in vitamin E and magnesium, both of which have been linked to lower levels of inflammatory markers. Pistachios provide lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that help fight oxidative stress, along with monounsaturated fats that support heart health alongside joint health. The research on nuts and inflammation is compelling. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who ate the most nuts had lower levels of inflammatory markers, including C-reactive protein and interleukin-6. Another study showed that inflammatory markers decreased when subjects consumed a handful of nuts daily over a 12-week period. How many nuts should you eat? Research suggests that about 1.5 ounces per day, roughly a handful, provides anti-inflammatory benefits without adding too many calories to your diet. This translates to about 24 almonds, 14 walnut halves, or 47 pistachios. The key with nuts is portion control. They're nutritionally dense, providing healthy fats, protein, and fiber, but they're also calorie dense. Using a small container or measuring cup can help you avoid absent-minded overeating. To maximize the anti-inhibitive benefits of nuts, choose raw or dry roasted varieties without added oils or salt. Here are some simple ways to incorporate more nuts into your daily routine. Sprinkle chopped walnuts or sliced almonds over your morning oatmeal or yogurt. Add a handful of nuts to your salad for crunch and staying power. Make a simple trail mix with nuts, a small amount of dried fruit, and perhaps a few dark chocolate chips for an anti-inhibitive snack. Our 6th inflammation-fighting superstar is turmeric, the golden spice that gives curry its distinctive color. This ancient medicinal root has become increasingly popular in Western cultures, as research has confirmed what traditional healing systems have known for centuries. It's one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory agents. The active compound in turmeric is curcumin, which has been extensively studied for its ability to inhibit inflammatory pathways in the body. It blocks NF-κB, a molecule that travels into the nuclei of cells and turns on genes related to inflammation. It also inhibits the production of tumor necrosis factor alpha and interleukin-6, 2 key players in the inflammatory response. For joint health specifically, curcumin has shown impressive results. A study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that curcumin was as effective as a common NSAID in reducing knee pain in patients with osteoarthritis. Another study in phytotherapy research showed that a curcumin supplement reduced joint pain and stiffness in rheumatoid arthritis patients better than a standard antihistamine drug. There's one important thing to know about turmeric. Curcumin isn't easily absorbed by the body on its own. However, black pepper contains piperine, a compound that can increase curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Adding a pinch of black pepper whenever you use turmeric can significantly boost its anti-inflammatory effects. Consuming turmeric with a source of fat also helps, as curcumin is fat-soluble. So how can you incorporate more turmeric into your daily routine? Add it to your cooking. Turmeric works well in soups, stews, rice dishes, scrambled eggs, and roasted vegetables. Aim for about 1/2 to 1 teaspoon daily, always paired with a pinch of black pepper and ideally some healthy fat like olive oil. A popular way to consume turmeric is in the form of golden milk or turmeric tea. Here's a simple recipe. Warm a cup of milk, dairy or plant-based, with 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, a small piece of grated ginger, and a teaspoon of honey if desired. This creates a soothing anti-inflammatory beverage, perfect for evening relaxation. For those who enjoy smoothies, adding 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric to your morning blend can be an easy way to get your daily dose. Combine it with ingredients like banana, pineapple, ginger, and a source of healthy fat like avocado or nut butter for a delicious, joint-supportive start to your day. Our seventh and final inflammation-fighting food is tart cherries. These vibrant red fruits and their juice have emerged as a particularly powerful option for those suffering from joint pain, especially pain related to gout and osteoarthritis. What makes tart cherries so special? They contain unique compounds called anthocyanins and bioflavonoids that have powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Research has shown that these compounds help block inflammatory enzymes in much the same way that NSAIDs do, but without the potential side effects. Tart cherries also contain melatonin, which not only supports healthy sleep, important for managing pain, but has anti-inflammatory properties of its own. This combination of compounds makes tart cherries particularly effective for reducing the pain and inflammation associated with arthritis. The research on tart cherries for joint pain is impressive. A study published in Osteoarthritis and Cartilage found that patients who drank tart cherry juice twice daily for 3 weeks experienced significant reductions in markers of inflammation and showed a 20% improvement in pain and function scores. For those suffering from gout, tart cherries may be especially beneficial. Research published in Arthritis and Rheumatism showed that consuming tart cherry extract reduced the risk of gout attacks by 35%. This benefit likely comes from tart cherry's ability to lower uric acid levels and reduce inflammation. How should you consume tart cherries for maximum benefit? Both the whole fruit and the juice appear to be effective. The recommended amount is about 8 ounces of tart cherry juice daily, or 1.5 cups of the whole fruit. Look specifically for Montmorency or other tart cherry varieties. Sweet cherries, while nutritious, don't appear to have the same level of anti-inflammatory compounds. One simple way to enjoy tart cherries is to add them to a morning smoothie. Combine frozen tart cherries with a banana, some spinach, and your preferred milk for a joint-friendly start to the day. Or try adding dried tart cherries to oatmeal, along with walnuts and cinnamon, for a breakfast that combines multiple anti-inflammatory ingredients. Now that we've explored our 7 inflammation-fighting superstars, let's talk about how to combine them for maximum benefit. The power of an anti-inflammatory diet isn't just in individual foods, but in how they work together to create a consistent environment that helps control inflammation throughout your body. A simple approach is to aim for an anti-inflammatory plate at each meal. Fill half your plate with colorful vegetables, especially leafy greens. Add a palm-sized portion of protein, choosing fatty fish at least twice a week. Include a serving of whole grains or starchy vegetables, and incorporate a source of healthy fat like olive oil or nuts. For breakfast, try overnight oats made with rolled oats soaked in almond milk, topped with a handful of berries, a tablespoon of chopped walnuts, and a sprinkle of cinnamon and turmeric. For lunch, a large salad with dark leafy greens, topped with wild salmon, avocado slices, and a dressing made with extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, turmeric, and black pepper, combines several of our anti-inflammatory foods in one delicious meal. For dinner, a stir-fry with plenty of colourful vegetables, including leafy greens, cooked in olive oil with garlic, ginger, and turmeric, served over brown rice or quinoa, offers another inflammation-fighting combination. Remember to stay hydrated throughout the day. Adequate water intake helps flush inflammatory compounds from your system. Consider adding a glass of tart cherry juice, either on its own or diluted with water, as part of your daily routine. It's also important to note what's not on our anti-feminine plate. Processed foods, refined sugars, and excessive amounts of animal products, especially processed meats, have been linked to increased inflammation. While it's not necessary to eliminate these entirely, reducing them while increasing your intake of anti-feminine foods can make a significant difference in how your joints feel. Be patient with this approach. Unlike medications that might provide quick relief, dietary changes typically show their benefits over weeks or months as inflammatory processes gradually resolve and tissues heal. Many people report noticing initial improvements within 2 weeks, with continued progress over 3 to 6 months of consistent anti-inflammatory eating. Let's wrap up what we've learned today. We've explored 7 powerful anti-inflammatory foods that can help reduce joint pain when incorporated into your daily diet. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines provide omega-3 fatty acids that help resolve inflammation. Berries of all kinds deliver anthocyanins and other antioxidants that fight oxidative stress and inflammation. Leafy greens offer a complex mix of vitamins, minerals, and plant compounds that help regulate inflammatory processes. Olive oil, especially extra virgin varieties, contains oleocanthal and other compounds that work similarly to anti-inflammatory medications. Nuts, particularly walnuts, provide plant-based omega-3s, vitamin E, and other compounds that help control inflammation. Turmeric contains curcumin, one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds, especially when paired with black pepper for better absorption. Tart cherries offer unique anthocyanins that have shown particular benefit for arthritis and gout pain. The key to success with an anti-inflammatory diet is consistency and variety. Incorporate as many of these foods as possible, as regularly as possible, while reducing your intake of highly processed foods, refined sugars, and other inflammatory triggers. Remember that diet is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to managing joint pain. Regular, gentle movement, maintaining a healthy weight, getting adequate sleep, and managing stress are all important companions to an anti-inflammatory diet. Together, these approaches can help you reduce your reliance on pain medications and improve your quality of life. I'd love to hear about your experiences with these anti-inflammatory foods. Have you tried any of them specifically for joint pain? What combinations have worked best for you? Please share in the comments below. Your insights might help someone else on their journey to better joint health. The journey to better joint health doesn't end with these 7 inflammation-fighting foods. Consider keeping a food journal to track how your joints respond to dietary changes. Many find that certain foods may trigger inflammation for them individually, while others bring noticeable relief. Remember that consistency is key. Rather than making dramatic changes all at once, gradually incorporate these foods into your existing routine. Small, sustainable shifts in eating habits often lead to the most lasting benefits for joint health. If you're taking medications for joint pain or inflammation, always consult your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes. While these foods work naturally with your body's systems, they can interact with certain medications. For those who struggle to incorporate all these foods regularly, focus on quality over quantity. Even adding just 2 or 3 of these inflammation fighters consistently can make a meaningful difference in how your joints feel and function. Finally, share what you learn with others. Many seniors suffer silently with joint pain, unaware that simple dietary changes might help. Your experience could inspire someone else to take that first step toward a more active, pain-reduced life. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more evidence-based health information specifically designed for seniors. Remember that the choices you make at every meal are opportunities to reduce inflammation and support your joint health. Your fork truly can be one of your most powerful tools for feeling better and staying active as you age. Thank you for watching, and here's to your health,